First guest this morning says it's time to get gardening. It's still too soon to dig in the dirt, but if your green thumb is itching, Everybody Gardens editor Doug Oster, also known as the Spud Stud, has a good idea to scratch that itch.
That was my nickname in college.
I bet it was.
Oh, that forecast. I'm telling you, Heather, I have talked to
know.
so many gardeners who just come up to me and they go, this is so depressing.
So depressing. And we're all in that state right now.
But, oh, you know, warming up. And as you said, the soil's too wet to work. So we're talking about planting some stuff in containers. And, you know, potatoes are like anything else out of the garden. When you grow your own potatoes, they are just to die for. They're almost, when you harvest them, you almost don't need any butter on them. It's just, they're that good. The texture,
Really?
everything. Yeah, it's just amazing. We were all talking about it.
I don't know that I've never grown potatoes.
Well, you're going to now.
Today's the day.
Yeah, so when I went to Hahn Nursery, I was looking around and they had just big bags of what we call seed potatoes. You have to start with what's a certified seed potato, and this was one here. It doesn't look any different than a regular potato, but it's certified to be disease-free. And I know people that sometimes will get a potato from the store and like put it in a plastic bag and try and sprout it and grow it, but it's for $1.50 a pound. Go with your certified seed potatoes.
So you don't have any disease.
At the nursery they had 3-4 different varieties. If you like the purple skin or the white skin, whatever you like, you can grow it. It's just super easy. You know these, right? These are the eyes.
Right. I was going to say some of them have them and some of them don't.
Well, if you look close, you can see them.
Oh, there are a couple.
Right. And so you've got to have an eye to get potatoes. You know, you don't want, when you're planting a seed potato, you don't want it apart, not have an eye because it won't make potatoes. And so what we do is we cut them into maybe half, maybe into quarters, and you see that there's an eye on there.
Okay.
And then last night what I did after I cut it, I just let it sit overnight, and this kind of cures on here.
You can see, yeah.
Yeah, you can see it kind of scabs over, and that's what we want it to do. We don't want just the fresh potato to stick it in the ground because there could be fungal issues there. So just overnight, and we're going to do it in containers. I have a big container here, and it's filled up with this stuff that I've just fallen in love with. It's a local company. It's called Pit Moss, and it's made out of recycled newspaper.
Neat.
It's called Plentiful. It's organic, local, and it takes 2/3 less water. And so you got to get used to that. You don't need as much water, but it's the perfect medium for growing, and especially for potatoes, because it's so lightweight. That bag, feel how light that is.
Oh, yeah? I love when we can use local products, too. Isn't it the best?
They were on Shark Tank. And it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I've been starting my seeds in this stuff. So, see, we don't have this container is not all the way full. And so when we plant our potatoes, what the idea is going to be is we put this side down, the flat side down.
Flat side down.
Right. Put one in there.
Okay. We're just pushing them down in.
Yep.
Can we turn that over a little bit so people
can you see that okay?
All right, so
and I wish I could have had this filled up, but the thing is, as these potatoes grow, we're going to add more soil every time, and that's called hilling. And what that gives us is that every time we get more soil, we get more potatoes.
So when we put these in here, and folks at home can see that right there, when we put these in here, we're not covering them all the way with dirt?
We will do that next. We're going to put a little bit on top, so I'm just going to put a little bit of the mix on top, and I mean just a little bit.
Right.
And you can see
you don't have to pat it down.
Nope, they're just kind of barely covered there. You can see. And then when that sprouts up, we'll put another layer, another layer, another layer. Usually I would start this even lower, but I wanted people to be able to see it.
Right.
And the great thing about growing your own potatoes is you can harvest something called new potatoes. And so what'll happen is they'll put little potatoes out on the side, and you can get those before that skin really hardens up. And that soft skin, I mean, it's unbelievable. I know people, you'll think this is kind of weird, but they'll pick that little new potato out and like eat it raw.
Really?
That's how good they are.
Now, how long till we get something out of this?
You know when your potatoes are ready to dig when they start flowering on top. And so we just.
How do they flower?
Oh, they're actually from the tomato family, so they're from the same family. And when you see those kind of like purplish white flowers, we know it's time. Usually I just let the tops just die back, and then I'll dig the potatoes out. And I've got, this container is perfect for my garden, just a big plastic tub, but you could get a nicer one like this. And I do bigger ones too, where it'll be The bigger, better always for a container because
Right.
you don't have to water it as much.
Got it. Now, these are not potato flowers.
No,
What is this?
well, when I was at Hahn Nursery, they've got a giant rack of these cyclamen flowers, and they'll just give you one. All you do is you come into Hahn Nursery in Ross.
Really?
Tell them that you saw it with Heather.
And Doug, and the spud stud.
And they'll just give you a plant, and that's for you, Heather.
Oh.
And this kind of house plant here is the kind you never let dry out. Okay, usually
Keep it watered.
usually we're talking about drying them out. Keep that wet, and that's going to flower for a long, long time.
Okay, well, those look great. Thank you, Doug. You
Thank
always bring me
you.
something. I appreciate it. And you can actually see the spud stud yourself live in person. You're going to be at a couple places this weekend. Where
That's
are you going to
right. Saturday I'll be at Bedner's Farm and Greenhouse in Cecil at 11 a.m. And then Sunday I'll be at the Murraysville Home Show
Great.
at 2 p.m. talking gardening, always giving seeds away, and we're going to have a good time.
When do you get a break?
This isn't that time for a break. This is the time,
to
get
get
out
busy,
there,
right?
and I love it. I love seeing the people. I love talking about gardening. It's so much fun.
All right, Everybody Gardens editor Doug Oster, thank you so much for your
Thank you.
tips today.